Can I renew the flying view, please?
I guess you guys.
Yeah,
You just
Are
we're
you
not
st-
here.
are you
yeah,
started?
I'm gonna start
Oh,
rolling.
okay.
Yeah, that's cool with you.
There's so much here. It's like very overwhelming. We got Robert Altman. So much. He made so many movies. It's kind of crazy. Oh, Alan Rudolph. I know you guys had Alan Rudolph here recently, and yeah, this is a movie that it's like still not really officially available for reasons unknown and probably, nebulous and annoying. But Remember My Name is, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be like too hyperbolic here, but yeah, it's like one of the greatest movies ever made. So yeah, if anybody is in the area and wants to see Remember My Name, you can actually get it here and you can't buy it anywhere. So yeah, great movie. An Oliver Stone movie I really like that doesn't get talked about enough is U-Turn. Sean Penn kind of stumbling into the desert. I really like this thing that I talk about in one of the essays that came with Red Rock West is the idea of like drifter noir. It's these people that are kind of passing through places and get stuck in like these really weird circumstances just by virtue of like where they've kind of ended up in life. And U-Turn is one of those movies where Sean Penn, it's like in a desert area, just all these quirky characters, and yeah, the cast is amazing. It's like a really vile piece of work, which whenever you get like that, I'm immediately interested, especially when it's a major studio and like a filmmaker as talented as Oliver Stone. U-Turn is great. I think it's one of his better movies of the 90s, kind of up there with Natural Born Killers and JFK. So, yeah, highest recommendation for U-Turn. Jonathan Demme is somebody that I got to personally know. I was very fortunate to, and we did this release of Last Embrace. So, something I'm very proud of professionally is getting this film out there and looking as good as it does in this release. And I also really love a movie he made that nobody really talks about, which is Melvin and Howard. And one of the reasons I think people don't talk about it is it's not easy to see. This was the last physical media release of it, which I believe is out of print now. And it's just really great character work. Demme kind of at the top of his game, just doing the things he does that seem so simple, yet nobody else was really doing. So they must not be as simple as he makes it look. So yeah, Jonathan Demme, somebody that I'm very excited to have known and have worked with. Talk about a movie that will never get the physical media treatment it deserves is Ken Russell's The Devils, for a lot of different political and financial reasons. But when I'm asked what my favorite movie of all time is, it is almost always The Devils. That might change every once in a while, but yeah, The Devils is definitely a movie that I can't really get out of my head no matter how much I would try to. Here we go. Cult and Midnight Movies. This is my wife. She happens to be here. She just happened to be browsing in the store. As far as Fulci goes, New York Ripper. If you want to watch a movie that makes you take a bath, New York Ripper is just such a nasty movie that you can feel like the dirt of New York City. I mean, there's like a foot fetish scene in here that goes so far beyond anything Tarantino has done. Yeah. I don't know if that's a selling point, actually, but I'm sure somebody wants that. But yeah, New York Ripper is great.
Oh yeah, for the freaks on our YouTube page. Yeah.
I think 2000's horror is also really underrated. It still feels like it's the kind of thing where a lot of the die-hard horror aficionados are still, very entrenched in like the 70s and 80s, and I think that there's a lot here to enjoy. And one of my favorites is Ernest Dickerson's Bones, which is, I mean, have you guys seen Bones? So Bones, it's directed by Ernest Dickerson, who's, to me, an all-timer, not just as a DP, but as a director too. For people who don't know, he worked with Spike Lee. I have Spike Lee on my shirt, but yeah, so he was Spike Lee's DP. He shot Malcolm X, which if you've seen the opening scene of Malcolm X, this guy like knows how to use a camera. And he also directed movies like Surviving the Game. It's a great action movie. He made Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, which is another 90s horror movie I really like. But Bones is his throwback to 70s exploitation. It's like if you look at a movie like Blackula or even JD's Revenge, which I think is a great movie and probably the most similar to this in concept. This movie's Snoop Dogg plays a guy from the 70s who gets killed by a deal gone wrong with a bunch of white guys, and Pam Grier is his girlfriend, and then he comes back from the dead and like starts killing all these people, opening a nightclub in his old home, like his old stomping grounds, and there's like a ghost dog and like a bed filled with blood and a lot of maggots, and it plays out like a really colorful haunted house movie. It's kind of like a very contemporary sort of haunted house meets giallo. It's gorgeously shot. So yeah, I cannot recommend Bones enough. Another Ernest Dickerson movie that I don't know if it's here, but it's a movie that he made called Never Die Alone, which stars DMX. And he also directed hip-hop music videos, so it kind of makes sense that, Ice-T's in Surviving the Game, Snoop Dogg's in Bones. And yeah, you have Never Die Alone with DMX, and it's shot on 16 millimeter. It's like, looks incredible, and it's like a film noir. It's based on a book by Donald Goines. And yeah, I think Ernest Dickerson's contributions to American cinema are not discussed nearly often enough. So highly recommend people to check out Bones. I feel like it's like a beacon exploitation section. Yeah, I love working with AGFA. I work with them very often. One of my favorite things AGFA has done is this collection of John Mortsugu films, which are these like very gay, very strange and offbeat, very personal underground films from the 80s. And they're funny, but they're also like, it's sort of like Gregoraki, but made by Richard Hell, like something like that. They're very no wave, they're very in your face, they're very offensive. They have a lot of kind of like MTV beats of energy. Yeah, this whole set, it's just nonstop energy and chaos, and it's very queer and very fun and unique. And yeah, I cannot recommend these enough. Some of my favorite discoveries in a long time are in this set. Oh, this is one that, man, I love this movie. Nobody talks about this movie. This is a movie that I became like mildly obsessed with when I was a kid, and I don't really know why. I think it was just like this poster was up at a video store. So when I was growing up, I'm from New Hampshire, and we had a video store like down the hill from our house, and I just wanted to go there all the time. And whenever there was like a big poster up, especially if it was in a section I wasn't supposed to be in, I just became like really drawn to it. And so for some reason, Free Jack became one of those movies. And it was like, I need to see that movie because if they have the poster up, it must be good. Like that was my mentality as a kid was, they had Silence of the Lambs was up forever. And it was like, well, not only is that poster up, but like it's always checked out. So like the correlation to me was just, if they have a poster up, this movie must be amazing. And for some reason, they had the Free Jack poster up for a long time next to a movie called Split Second, starring Rutger Hauer. And so I became like determined to see this movie, and I did. And it's very weird. So it's the cast is Emilio Estevez, Mick Jagger, Rene Russo, and Anthony Hopkins, and it's like a race car driver in the 2000s, but it's shot in the 90s, and the effects are great. This is like the only solid release of it. It's a very weird movie. If you want to see Mick Jagger and Emilio Estevez in a sci-fi movie set in 2009, there's only one of them. So.
Shot in Atlanta. Shot downtown Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all those sequences are down there.
That's amazing.
Shot all around Atlanta, but all the down. A lot of 80s, 90s sci-fi was shot here after.
That's crazy.
Because we had this sort of glass and concrete thing going on. Herzog came here once and said that Atlanta looked like Alphaville. And then we got a decent amount of sci-fi in the 80s shot here.
Oh, Wings. So Wings passed away very recently. The first disc I ever produced was Tough Guys Don't Dance. And I got to know Wings in working on this, which was one of the great professional privileges of my life, was getting to know Wings. And I have 2 voicemails saved on my phone, and one of them is from Wings. From when we were working on this. And yeah, he was just consummate professional, super kind, very excited to have people watch his work or care about his work. It's one of those, like a lot of times you talk to actors agents, and it's, there's not a lot of interest in looking back. And Wings is somebody who is always interested in looking back and always very grateful that people wanted to remember his work. So he's gone now, and we have all these movies, so watch them. So if I had to pick like a movie I've watched the most, probably in like the past 30 years, it's Friday. I think this is something people wouldn't expect from me, just based on like what I do for work and what I write about. But Friday is comfort movie for me. Like this is if I'm up late and can't sleep or just need something to put on, just to kill time. Friday is pretty much my go-to choice. It's like endlessly quotable. It's charming, great soundtrack. Anybody who likes 90s hip hop, soundtrack is immaculate, but it's just genuinely hilarious. Chris Tucker, I wish he kept doing movies like this and didn't do whatever he decided to do after, but yeah, he's an incredible talent. I love Clifford, which I feel like is finally getting the recognition it deserves. This is a movie that everybody hated when it came out, and that includes me. I mean, I was a kid when this came out, and I like didn't get it. You know, this is the kind of thing that, you know, I watched a lot of comedies growing up, and especially like stupid comedies. I mean, I really loved Airheads when I was a kid, and I still do. But yeah, this is one that I remember seeing when I was a kid and just being like, why is this old man playing a child? It didn't really connect for me then, but now it's like one of the funniest movies ever made. It's Clifford. We saw this played at BAM with Martin Short there, and the Q&A was even funnier than the movie. So yeah, everybody watch Clifford if you have not seen Clifford.
I'm sorry.
We can end on Ricky O, because if there's ever a movie to end on, it's probably one of the craziest movies ever made, which if you just want to see people like punching through abdomens and every form of like bodily dismemberment and modification you can think of, Ricky O is the platonic ideal of like mayhem cinema. I don't even know what you would call it. It's gory, it's funny, it's weird, it's Ricky O. So yeah, I think, my final thing for people to see is if you've never seen Ricky O, and especially if you've never seen Ricky O with people, even if you've seen Ricky O, if you haven't watched it with like a group of people, whether it's in a theater or even like just your friends being over, like watch it again, because it plays so much better with people who have never seen it before. Yeah, that's it from me.
Yeah.
Sounds great.